Hello, hi. And my name is Terry Messenger, world-class trainer and coach through neurolinguistic programming and some of the most gobsmacking modalities on the planet Earth. So thank you for joining us. And we are well underway now with the construction of our elite coaching program. And we are seeing nothing short of miracles occurring. And in our previous weekend workshop, we looked at how to recode your life, how to recode so that you can clear your past and re-imprint your present. So let me begin by saying, firstly, we won't be going obviously that deep because that is a prestigious exclusive training that I do teach. We have seen miracles where people have been able to change the chemistry of their body with aches and pains that they've had for, a long time that have been critical to suddenly having like zero feeling in that part of their body, through to people removing trauma, stress, and rising up. And of course, the most important element is to become present. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a very basic step of how to set up your timeline. So what is time? I mean, for everyone, time is different, okay? So Albert Einstein says that really time is just an illusion. What you will notice, and just put down in the comments, are you good with time? Do you believe that you get everything done the way you want it to be and that you feel present, you feel lit up, and you feel energized? Put down in the comments yes or no. And obviously what I'll do is I will come back and I will have a look. So really, the most productive people who have control of time know one special gift, and that is that your greatest gift is the present of the now. So here and now. Thank you for commenting. I see Sally, a very empowered performance coach. And Sally has said absolutely not. Sally, can I ask, because obviously feedback here is going to really help me to help the viewers, what is it about time that doesn't work for you? Do you feel like there's not enough hours in the day? Do you feel like there's a procrastination issue? What is the issue that you see with time? And if you can actually drop down in the comments while we're live, what you perceive to be the biggest deterrent. So sometimes it can be stuckness, like feeling blocked, right? It can be overwhelmed. And I see this with a lot of coaches, and especially high performance coaches like Sally. So if you want to excel in sport athletics, Sally is your girl, right? So she specializes in this. And we are all, as coaches, when we can admit what is our biggest issues, that's when we can mentor people. That's when we have the amazing gifts and skills to be able to look at what we have had to overcome and then pass it on to people that we call in as our avatars. So if you have an issue where you feel time is not on your side, what is actually holding you back? Is it overwhelm? Is it feelings of stuckness? Is it feelings of helplessness, fear? Write it down in the comments. And as I see this, what I will do is I will actually approach that. So I'm just looking now to see, I used to work in an industry, very strict deadlines, and now I don't have them. And I feel as though I don't hold myself accountable. What an excellent comment, because this is going to be a big one for coaches. I don't feel like I'm holding myself accountable enough to really get everything done that I know I need to do. Sally, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to approach that comment, and then I'm going to move on to Claudia. So I know what that's like, because when you're in an industry where you're held accountable, if you're in a 9-to-5 job, you kind of like, your subconscious kind of knows that you just have to get it done. So you do it regardless. But when you go into an industry where you are free, where everything is really leaning on you, what you need to work out firstly is, are you toward motivated or are you away? So Sally, I'm going to ask you a really important question. If I told you that you taking control of time and you looking at this and actually working on this as your biggest quantum leap to exponentially move you forward is going to mean that you are going to impact thousands of people in your practice and you are going to receive income, I wonder if that really strikes a fire in you. Or listen carefully. If you keep going the way that you have been at the worst critical times, when you haven't had that accountability, you haven't had that discipline, and you haven't done the work that you know you need to do, then your practice is going to fall flat. And all those thousands of people out there that are praying for you to come along are never going to meet you. Now, I want you to tell me, were you toward, are you more, do you feel like there's more ammo in you? And this can go for all of you. Do you feel like there's more of a, you know, I've got to do this, when you hear about the, you know, the big nirvana that's in front of you, or when you see and feel the fire? So that's the first thing. Are you toward or are you away? Now, I'm going to give you a little tip, because you've been so honorable in sharing, and there's many coaches in this group, and you are not alone. I can absolutely promise you this, because this is a very real issue that happens with any really great business person. So this is what I do. Firstly, a well successful and a well really lived life in business is a well analyzed life. So if you look at your most successful day that you've had, and you say to yourself, what was it that was happening for me? And you know how to code yourself and harness in. And then look at the day where you weren't moving forward, you weren't doing the work, you weren't doing what you know you needed to do, and analyze that and see what was going on. So once you analyze it, what you need to do is you need to recode the way that you are when you are actually not as productive as you'd like to be. So the recoding, I have the framework of, you know, the recoding system, which is absolutely brilliant. And because you're a coach, I'm going to touch with it, but I'm not going to teach or show, because obviously that is for exclusive members that are joining my program. So I had a situation where we learnt the coding of the mind. And even with 15 people in my program, each person was able to look at the system that they run when they are not performing, when they are not doing what they know they could be doing, right? Now, they looked at it and they analyzed the coding of the subconscious mind. Then we got them to look at what it was that really moved them and shaped them to being like high performing on a day when they were on fire, lit up. Now, this is so normal. Everybody, the greatest coaches in the world, go through this, right? So once they learned how to code and they saw the codes of this, what actually happened was we recoded so that their Achilles heel, their weakness, became their strength. And we actually completely rewired and harnessed it and programmed it. However, I'm going to give you a logical tool that I utilize. When you wake up in the morning, firstly, what are the things that you do? So obviously the way you wake up, your habits, what you do. So whether you meditate, you journal. However, there is one thing you really need to do if you are going to become that billion-dollar God-given coach that you know that you are designed to be. And that is that you need to speak into your life exactly who you are. I am a world-class trainer, coach, and I am a multi-million dollar person who imparts my gift to the world and helps the world rise and become the greatest version of themselves. So you need to formulate a mantra that is going to roll off your lips so that you don't even have to write it or read it anymore. You can just say it off your tongue. Like, I have an income of $20,000 a month that is converting to $20,000 a week, that is converting to $20,000 a day. So you hear that just rolled off my tongue. Why? Because I state that every single day. And it's not unusual for me to be having a 5-figure week. And I know that those 5-figure days, I have come very close to them as well. So, when you learn to do that, now the next thing is, before you really get on with your day, put all the things that you know you need to do, and that is the things that you may procrastinate or you may find yourself lacking the productivity, and do them first, right? So I, for example, love serving people. I love moving people forward, but I really don't like the administration duties. So I am sure that I will do those things first, because what happens, see, after I make this call, when I finish this live stream, guess what? This is my most favorite thing to do, and that is to serve you. However, I'm free for the rest of the day. I've done all my administration duties. I have just ordered lots and lots of beautiful products for some of my clients, right, that I've packaged up into my program, and I'm actually giving that to them so that they can have a holistic, beautiful system. But I don't like doing that part of it. I love packaging and I love serving, but I don't like doing the administration. So I've already done all of that. I did all of that before I came here onto this live stream. So if you can learn to do that, do the things you don't want to do first. And Claudia, I'm now going to just approach Claudia's very, very popular issue. And Claudia is a hypnotherapist, and she's going to have a brilliant program coming out where she has really, I believe that her weakness has been in the pain in her body. So that is going to be as she has learned to transmute that, and as she's learning how to completely recode that, she's going to be able to give that gift to other people. So the overwhelm is so prevalent. So I am going to give you a little tip and a trick for that. And then I'm going to show you how to set up a timeline that's going to help you to become present. And I'm going to end this call. So here we go. So what I want you to do is I want you to move forward, Claudia, exponentially. In other words, all the junk and all of the overwhelm, because this is how I teach and coach people so that they can achieve what they want without that overwhelm. See, overwhelm is my Achilles heel, and I am very easy to get there. And I know my subconscious, if I get overwhelmed, I'm going to procrastinate. If I procrastinate, I'm going to get down on myself. If I get down on myself, I'm going to overthink. If I start overthinking, I'm going to get stressed, and it's going to go around and around and around and around in this terrible cycle. We need to break that. So what I need to do and what you need to do is, this is how I now have conquered it for so many coaches. I move them exponentially. That's why my workshops are these really exciting trainings. So they're done weekend to weekend, just for 3 weekends. And it's like, it's so easy and the time goes so fast and it's exponentially moving people rapidly like the speed of light. However, this is the trick. You can say to yourself, right, this is the most important thing I want to achieve. And you state one thing. You concentrate on one thing, because if you start going, oh, I've got to do the washing, then I've got to take the kids here, and then I've got to do that, and then I've got to make sure that I do this, this, and this. What you're going to do is you're going to be giving your subconscious mind an absolute frenzy where it's going to go, and guess what? It's going to then hand you procrastination. It's going to hand you pain. It's going to hand you issues. And it's only doing it so that it can look after you, because it doesn't want to have to deal with this rubbish that happens to all of the best of us. So by actually remembering to state what you want first, achieve one thing, just trick your subconscious into going, this is what I need to achieve. Exponentially move toward that goal. And then once you've done that, because you'll feel so good that you've achieved it, that's where you then do all the incremental things. So all the incremental things are the things that need to flow into place. So for example, I'm teaching coaches exponentially the rapid release of how to learn the work that I give them and how to take great big leaps so they can, one coach said to me, Terry, not only do you teach, not only do you train, but you show. We had a woman there the other day and she was just stuck after we'd done the training session and we'd seen miracles, but then she was talking about interference in her internet. She was talking about frustration because it kept cutting out and she wasn't taking it in. And the moment we started dealing with that, we even seen how that turned everything around, you guys, and how that totally changed the transmission. But the point is that I quantum leap you to where you want to be, and then you take the incremental steps to flow through and take everything you need in. So here's a quick way to set up your timeline. So close your eyes. Now, as you close your eyes, I'm going to ask you the question. I want you to imagine what you were doing before you were watching this video. And I want you to rise up and imagine you can see yourself in the position of where you are. And just notice where you can imagine watching yourself just before. So just before I was doing this, I was taking a walk with my daughter. Now I imagine that behind me. I have had some people that imagine things around them or on top of them. Just notice where you also see last night. So imagine where that is placed in terms of where you've just visualized what you've just done. So is that behind that? What direction is it running? Now think of anything from last week. Now, as you do this, I want you to notice that it's in a certain direction, but I want you to ask yourself this question. Do you believe that your past is behind you? If the answer is yes, put it down in the comments. And if you believe that your past is behind you, I want you to imagine that every single thing, including what you just did before, and noticing the direction, and I want you to ask permission to your subconscious if you can change it to putting it behind you. Now, if you can change it to putting it behind you, I want you to know that your subconscious mind will make all the right and safest, best decisions for you, whether your timeline falls back into the place that it was before I showed you this, or whether it stays in this new way. So wherever you imagine your past, and as I said, looking down, just noticing. I want you to imagine like the hands of a clock and placing it all the way behind you. So you see now from above, there's you in the present and everything behind. Okay, so now just have a bit of a shake out, take a deep breath, and look to see what you're going to do after this. So straight after you finish watching this, anything you imagine yourself doing, doesn't matter how, big or small it may be. And imagine where you see that, like what direction is that? And then I want you to notice anything tonight that you'll be doing and notice where that is as well. Maybe it's to your left, maybe it's to your right, maybe it's on top of you. Just see it as it is. And then just notice, what about tomorrow or during the week? Now I'm going to ask your subconscious if we can have permission, like the hands of a clock, to move that in front. Because would you agree that everything that you are about to do is in your future? So what I want you to do is drop down through into your present, and I want you to allow any thoughts that may have been overwhelming, or any thoughts that may have been procrastinating, or anything, to just capture them. And I want you to place where your thoughts are into the right time. So if it's about things you need to do, put it into the future. And make sure that you put it into the future, whether it is going to be today or tomorrow, so it is relevant to where in space of time. Now I want you to also analyze whether you are nursing and rehearsing anything, and whether it's already been and gone, and whatever you were thinking about is no longer relevant to the now. And I want you to place that behind you. So as you are placing all your thoughts, and this is something you can easily do, and it's a very basic technique, and yet it shows you the structure of your time. Place future thoughts in the future, place any past thoughts in the past, and then just feel the sense of the now. And now just allow yourself to feel that every single element of you is becoming present, and you're becoming deeply grounded. Now let's do one more thing just to end this live stream. I want you to just space out everything. So the future is just a little bit forward, and giving yourself some space so that you can really put out into, perhaps if it needs to be done today or tomorrow, what your goal is. So that means that you're just going to push the future forward and exponentially create a goal that you truly want. And I want you to place it out and see what it is that you want to achieve. And as you see it, I want you to imagine that you can see everything that you're doing, and then I want you to move into it and experience it in your body. But you're in the future experiencing it, but I want you to notice the feelings. Notice what you feel. So what are you feeling? Is it feeling confident? Is it feeling certain? Is it feeling a sense of joy? Is it feeling really, lit up? Is it feeling energized? Imagine that you've achieved it, and what that brings. Is it joyful? Now, I want you to imagine how this feels and what it is and the energy, and just notice what behaviors you have, what stories you're telling yourself. Now I want you to incrementally bring it back. So you're bringing back all the details into the now. Okay, so now that's just a basic little exercise for you to be able to create your present self and to be able to overcome overwhelm. And I just really went with the comments that I saw here, which is more powerful. And of course, I just showed you a snippet of what I do in terms of how to create your time. Now, I'm just going to say to your subconscious mind that whatever is best and safest for you, that it will arrange your timeline to be exactly in the right space that it is. And if it is feeling good with your future in front of you, your past behind you, and your present right here and now, then so be it. And I want to thank you for joining the live stream, and I want to wish you the greatest day. Remember, be totally faithful in yourself. Do the things that you perhaps like less doing first, and also allow yourself to know how to create that timeline so that you can exponentially achieve everything that you want to achieve, and you can have it all. So my name's Terry Messenger. If you're wanting to be in my next workshop next week, we are going to move through a rapid release trauma stress release. So if you're a coach and you want to have something in your toolkit, you will love it. If you're someone who wants to really enjoy the experience of absolutely clearing it, let me know, private message me, and I will drop a link in the comments to jump on my calendar, and we can take it from there. See ya. Much